the second business I was ever involved with, doubled its revenue year on year for 3 years, and crossed $1 million in revenue at year 4. Quick context, my name is Kevin Kabu. I've spent the last 10 years of my life building businesses from the ground up. And in today's video, I want to show you 3 ways to grow your business so fast it feels uncomfortable. Let's get into it. For you to be able to grow your business fast, there are 3 things that you need to do. And I'm going to get into each one of them in detail. So the first thing is you need to get clear on strategy. The second thing is you need to pull the levers on CPVP. And then the last thing is you need to execute. So let's go into the first one, strategy, getting clear on strategy. So strategy is just a fancy way of saying, what is your plan? Right? And there's a framework I use to get deep into this plan based on 9 key things, and it's called the business model canvas. So, number 1, the first thing we need to get clear on is our customer segments. Who are our clients? Who give us business? You need to define them. The second thing we need to get clear on is what value do we provide that enables these clients to pay us? The third thing is, how do we normally reach out to each of these clients that we have? How do we reach out to them to present this value that we provide so that they can pay us? Number 4, how do we maintain customer relationships and grow them so that we can be able to continuously provide this value to them through the channels that we are able to reach them through so that we can generate this money? And the 5th thing is pricing, or what do we charge, or the revenue streams, okay? So how much do we charge for the value that we provide to the clients that we serve, okay? Then let's get a bit deeper here. What are the key resources that we need in order for us to be able to provide this value to our clients, okay? And then the 7th thing is, what activities will we do for us to be able to use these resources well to provide the value to the clients through the channels that we've already reached out to them to. So it's just basically a flow, and it's applying it and thinking about it in that way. And then what partnerships do we have in place? So these partnerships could be a service that is bundled with your current value that you provide that you don't do in-house, and you have someone who's already specialized in for you to be able to do that. You could even think about it as simply as a bank. So in terms of financing, if you need money to finance your stuff, you need to go to a bank. So what partnerships do you need or do you have in place? And lastly, what's the cost of you being able to provide this value to your clients? So these are the things that we need to get clear on. We need to get clear on our clients, what value we provide to them, how do we normally reach out to them to present this value to them, how do we grow and maintain our customer relationships, what do we charge, what are the revenue streams we have, what resources do we need, what activities will we undertake, the partnerships that we have in place, and the cost structure. So once we've gotten clear on this plan, I want us to move into the levers that we need to pull. And these levers, I had mentioned them before. C stands for clients, V stands for value, P stands for pricing, and the last P stands for people. And I want us to dive deeper into each of these things. So when we think about our clients, how can we sell to better clients? And there are always better clients. For example, if your business, you sell to SMEs, sometimes SMEs can be a bit difficult to deal with because they really focus on the value that they get for the least amount of money that they pay. And this is a personal experience that we've had, or that I've had in the business. So how can you move that towards selling to, for example, instead of selling to SMEs, why don't we try and sell to listed companies? And of course, this comes with its own challenges, okay? Because there are more requirements for you to be able to make this move, or for you to be able to sell up market. But with the listed companies, they have structured procurement processes. They have better budgets to spend on whatever service it is that they are procuring. Of course, it's more rigorous, but you're in a better position to sell to listed companies that, of course, are growing. We're not talking about ever ready here. So that's one of the ways. How do we sell to better clients for us to grow? Can we pull that lever? Then let's look at pricing, okay? So in terms of pricing, can we increase our prices to both existing and new clients. And I want to give you a very simple example here. So let's say you have a gym and you're currently charging your members 10,000 bob. And for some reason, you need cash real quick. So what you do is you say in the next 1 month or 2 months, we're going to be increasing our prices and we're going to be providing X, Y, and Z value because of X, Y, and Z constraints. And if you move from, and let's say you have 50 members. So if you have this extra 2K times 50, if we did that 2,000 bob times 50, you already have an extra 100K. Very simply by just adding that extra 2,000 bob to your clients. And if this can be replicated across even new clients, you'll definitely see your business grow. Then of course you can provide more value. So what is this thing that you can add to what you already solve for your clients that they also have an issue with? So let's go back to this gym example. So you can't only just sell memberships, and these memberships, now you've increased your prices to 12K, right? Can we add a nutrition program with all its support? So it'll have a WhatsApp group. It's going to have tailored nutrition plans. You're going to have a one-on-one session every month. And what you do is you charge 5K for this. And it's something that comes bundled in your membership. So you've just taken your membership from 12K to 17K, and you're showcasing the value. And this sees you get more money through the door. So that's the V. And then we have people. And here's a very simple framework that I've come to learn over time. And it's hire slow, fire fast. Especially if you're in a service business, the value that you provide generally is tied to the people in your business, because people are leverage. You can't do everything as a business owner. So if you tolerate the wrong things in your business for too long because of fear of whatever it is, you're going to have a problem, and it's going to cause a strain between both you and that person who's not performing. So what I've learned over the past 10 years is if you have an issue with an employee, just let them go. If it's a material issue, right? And then hiring slow, there's a framework that I'll talk through in another video on how to hire better for your business. But just on the people side, because they're leveraged to your business and they enable you to deliver this value, and it's a lever you can pull, ensure that you hire slow and fire fast. And then lastly, let's come into execution, right? We need to execute. And there are a few principles that I've learned over time. So the first principle is the 80-20 principle. And this is Pareto's law. And it basically says 20% of effort is what yields 80% of result. And this helps us decide which levers to pull, okay, depending on the kind of situation you're in. So for example, if you're in a cash crunch situation, maybe increasing your prices and giving it a 30-day or 60-day kind of runway for you to increase your prices is what will save your business. Then do that. Don't focus on firing someone who's not providing the value to your clients, okay? But it also depends. If your pricing is right and you're seeing that the delivery of the service is not right, then look at what is this 20% I can do, and it could be around the people. So you fire someone and then you hire someone else who's better, that will be able to help you push the right lever. So basically, it's just about picking the right lever. The second thing is speed, okay? And there's a saying that I came across that I love, and it's impatient with action and patient with results, right? So what this means is that if you have something to do, do it now. Instead of thinking about how am I going to do it, just do it now and execute with speed. Because remember, we're trying to grow our business fast, right? So speed. And the third thing is focus on what you can control. And what I mean by this is, for example, if you move up market, let's say you decide I'm going to stop serving low value clients, I'm going to move up market into multinationals or international NGOs. What you'll find is the sales process usually increases by a factor of 6 to maybe even 12. So for example, if you're working with an SME and they call you and they give you a PUN, you start within a week because you've gotten a referral. For a corporate listed company, multinational, you'll find that same sales process could take 6 to 12 months from being pre-qualified to responding to a request for proposal, to, this is if you're a service business, to going through the pitching for the business and all that. So if you can't control that, like, just focus on what it is that you can actually do day to day to move the business forward. So once you've already gotten clear on your strategy, you've seen these are the levers that I can pull, and you're deciding I'm going to focus on these 2 levers, I'm moving with speed, just focus on what you can control, and you'll definitely see your business grow. So that brings us to the end of today's video. If you want to know how to hire better for your business, please watch this video here where I walk through a systematic process of being able to get A players into your business. And please comment and let me know what kind of content you want me to create more of, and thank you for watching.